One of the best aviation museums in the UK, and it's completely free. This wasn't a holiday, it was a little taste of one squeezed in around real life. Let's go to RAF Cosford Museum. Travel is all about experiences, and it's not always a big pre-planned adventure. Sometimes it's just saying yes to a detour. So in other words, you can build travel experiences into your mundane day-to-day life, and nothing is more mundane than a dental appointment. Now, for reasons beyond our control, Buck and I live in Anglesey, but our dentist is in Birmingham. Yeah, thanks for that, NHS. Classic glamour. So what do? We've got a 3-hour drive each way. Why don't we turn it into a bit of a day out, just to pad it out? So enter Mum. Mum's 85 and loves a day out. Doesn't matter how good or bad it is, she's up for it. So we essentially decided to get the dental stuff out the way and make a stop on the way back to Cosford. It's on the way back to Anglesey. And it's completely free. That's why I'm doing it. I like completely free. So let's talk you through it. And it's a great day out. Once you've cleared the main building entrance, you walk through some static aircraft displays. The Nimrod, just so impressive. Amazes me that it's so old as well. It seemed cutting edge when I was in the Air Force. But hey ho, that was a long time ago. And of course things like the Domini are there. It's getting harder to find museums that have got stuff older than Mum. Yeah, that was a bit cruel, but she is getting on a bit these days. This is the first hangar, which is mainly devoted to the First and Second World Wars. And there's some great stuff there. The whole museum is spread over a few hangars and the main Cold War exhibition centre, which is cutting edge. It was built with extreme lottery funding. Now the second hangar's got a lot of experimental stuff, including the TSR-2, which was, can't believe that thing only flew a handful of times. There is technology in that is still cutting edge today, and they discontinued it nearly 50 years ago. Unbelievable. Now, quite poignantly, you've got a lot of the tributes to the bombers during the war. Like this is the Avro Lincoln, which looks remarkably similar to the Avro Lancaster. Well, it would be, built by the same people. But one thing that particularly blew me away was the statistics. And they were, for every 100 bomber crews, 54 were dead, 25 became prisoners of war, 5 were seriously injured, and only 16 survived unhurt. That is just wow. Hang on, and this is the Cold War exhibit. To me, is the most impressive thing about Cosford. Just look at the size of it and the aircraft just hanging from the sky like they are from a child's bedroom. Love coming here. It's really hard to get an image, an impression from these pictures as to how big this damn thing is. But it's got a Vulcan there, just suspended, along with a Victor and a Valiant, some 3 of the biggest bombers designed for nuclear operations. Minor criticism is, it's so hard to see the scale of the Vulcan there. But one thing that blows me away is the fact they've got the lightning there at 90 degrees. As you can tell, I'm a little bit enthusiastic about these places. I spent 8 years in the Air Force and it was a fantastic time. Most of my career is in a museum these days. Ah well, that's one of the things about getting old. Well, I've been here loads of times, and I don't know if it's because I'd very rarely use the lift, but there's a second level and you get a really good view of all the artefacts from up here. And that gives you an indication of the scale of the place. I've been there loads of times and I still see things I haven't seen before. Yep, definitely recommended. Now, as I said, it's free to get in. You do have to make a contribution towards parking, which is £7.50. So obviously if you go in on your own, it's still cheap for a museum of this quality. I've been, I went to one in Canada that was £20 each to get into it. It wasn't half the size of this. Now, Cosford is also an active base for training as well, so there's a lot going on there. Always tickles me to see the statue of this guy in a shop where he belongs. So, that's Cosford in a nutshell. As always, I don't take great footage, but that's me. Definitely recommend popping in. There's one hangar there, they call it Hangar 1, which is devoted to transport and training aircraft. Unfortunately, that's closed at the moment because they're redeveloping it for another project. It's particularly bothering for me because at least 3 of the aircraft I worked on are based in there, so I didn't get to see them this time. But hey ho. The other thing that I found was slightly disappointing. They seem to have changed the offerings in the cafe. Now I know it's not the most important thing, but it's very much pizza, soup or sandwiches, and it's not the cheapest. We still got fed 3 of us for 30 quid, so it's not the end of the world, and the proceeds do go to the museum. But if you're watching your budget, there's a garage just before you turn in that will do a meal deal for a £5, so you could take it in as a packed lunch. Now, previous visits, I've spent 3 or 4 hours there before, and during the summer there's a lot of activities if you go on the website. Quite often at weekends, the large model radio-controlled aircraft club have displays on there. They're free. The only weekends that you can't get in for nothing is when the Cosford Air show's on, but that's another thing that's well worth going to. So it just turned a mundane day into a day of a bit of interest. Now, Mum's never been before, so it was a win for her. Have you been? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was worth it? Do you really think there's anywhere better like it in the country? Because I don't. And I've been to both Imperial War Museums. Of course, they're free as well. But that's the thing, you don't have to be rich and you don't have to travel to have travel type experiences. And this one's in the Midlands. Everyone goes past there occasionally, just off the M54. Thanks for watching, and we'll bring you something again soon.